You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. Your source for the best information and insight when it comes to sports wagering. We cover it all because you bet on it all. So let's head up to the studio and get this show rolling.
Hey, hello, and welcome everyone to another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. I am Brooksie, the Irish Insider. Hey, flying solo again tonight, but hey, good news. My partner, Easy Money Eric LaFleche, well, he's going to be back with us next week. And guess what? Just in time for the Canelo Plant boxing match. Those that tune into 7 and a Hook know that Easy Money Eric is our boxing guru, so he's got some good notes, I'm sure. So you're going to break down that fight and probably some of the fights on that card underneath the main event. So looking forward to having Easy Money back in the cockpit with me next week. Hey, I hope everybody had a chance to tune in to last week's podcast. Not because, I want to toot my own horn, but I kind of do. I was 28-14-1 last week against the spread, man. We all cashed some tickets. And you know what? It's okay that the bookies hate us. That's our job. Also, hopefully everybody's been tuning in all season. Since we launched the podcast, Brooksie here is a combined 86, 62, and 3. 86, 62, and 3. Now that's on air. Documented, can't make it up. All you got to do is go back and watch the podcast, and you will see. So, hey, listen. If you're a $100 player, you're up $1,780. Yeah. If you're a $500 player, you're up $8,900. Again, if you're a $1,000 player, as I've said before, you're my hero. But if you are, you're up over $17,800. All you had to do, watch the podcast, get the free advice I'm giving, and play along and take the money from the books. Hey, that's what we're doing here. So hopefully, okay, so let's see if we can keep the momentum going. All right, those that are new to the show, 7 and a Hook, what are we all about? Well, as you heard in the intro, we're an all-encompassing sports betting talk podcast, okay? In essence, we cover it all because you bet on it all. So listen, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, MMA, we got auto racing, soccer. Listen, boxing, if there's a line on it, we're going to cover it. Again, we cover it all because you bet on it all. And you know what? Tonight is pretty much a great example of that. I got some college football I want to talk about. I got NHL. Major League Soccer. I'm going to talk about Game 4 tonight in the World Series. NFL. What else am I going to go to? Oh, I also have some, I call my bonus international football, a little couple international soccer games. Going to go to La Liga, and I'm also going to go to the EPL. I got an English Premier League game that I want to talk about. So, hey, real quick, the socials. Well, first off, you can see the website, 7andahook.com. Check it out. Let us know. Send us some feedback. What do you think? And then our socials, the number 7 and a hook, whether that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And oh yeah, don't forget to go to YouTube and search 7 and a Hook Podcast. Give us a subscribe. You'll be up to date on all of our video content, and you'll get any heads up of any new things that we may have posted. So along with our weekly podcast, we also like to do what we call quick hitter videos. You know, it's not a full episode, but during the week, Easy Money and I like to put up, maybe if there's a certain play that we see that we want to get down on and make sure that you're up to date with our info. So again, it's not just our weekly podcast. We also do quick hitter videos during the week. All right, so as far as tonight, already mentioned it, we're going to cover a lot of different sports, a lot of different leagues. So without further ado, let's get this show rolling. All right, we're going to start with college football. Got some what I like to call spotlight plays. We're going to go over those first. All right, first up on my card, Mississippi. Ole Miss on the road to take on Auburn. Okay, Auburn is favored by 3 at home. Points total set 67 and a hook. All right, the Ole Miss Rebels, they're ranked 10th in the country. They're 6-1 overall. They're 3-1 in the SEC. Auburn, 18th in the country. They're 5-2 overall, 2-1 in the SEC. All right, Ole Miss got a pretty potent offense, and their rushing game is pretty phenomenal. Over 263 yards a game on the ground. Now, Auburn's defense, pretty stingy. They only let up 122 yards on the ground. So something's got to give here. I really think it's going to come down to the 2 quarterbacks. Matt Corral, potential Heisman Trophy candidate, and Bo Nix, who's been playing pretty well since taking over for Auburn. Tonight, though, I got to go with Matt Corral. So I'm going with Mississippi, Ole Miss, getting the 3 points. And as far as the points total, 67 and a hook. Looking down, I'm going under the 67 and a hook. All right, next game on my college spotlight. Kansas on the road to take on Oklahoma State. Now, OSU is minus 29. Yeah, they're favored by 29 at home. Points total set at 54 and a hook. All right, Kansas comes into this game 1-6. They're 0-4 in the Big 12. Oklahoma State, well, they're 6-1 overall, 3-1 in the conference. All right, Kansas Jayhawks. In essence, they played their Super Bowl, if you want to call it, last week. They threw everything and the kitchen sink against Oklahoma. Man, oh man, they made it a game. It was they were leading, believe it or not, 17-14 in the fourth quarter, but eventually Oklahoma they had a little more juice in the caboose, so to speak, and Oklahoma kind of ran away with it, and they ended up winning that game. What was the score? It was 35-23. Kind of lost my track of mind there. But yeah, Oklahoma ended up winning 35-23, but didn't cover the game. Kansas kept the spread close. Now, Oklahoma State, they're coming off their first loss. They lost to Iowa State last week. Okay, here's the thing. I think Kansas, they let everything loose. It was all or nothing last week against Oklahoma. This is a big ask for a team with a brand new head coach that now go on the road to take on Oklahoma State, who's coming off a loss. They're going to look to get back on track, and they're going to take it out tonight on Kansas. So lay the lumber, as we like to say up here in Boston. So Oklahoma State minus 29, and as far as the points total, we're going up. We're going over the 54 and a hook. All right, next game on my spotlight list here in college football, SMU on the road to take on Houston. All right, now this game's a pick'em. Some +1, -1, but as of showtime, the game was a pick'em. Points total set 61 and a hook. All right, SMU comes into this game 7-0. They're one of, I think, 9 teams left that are still undefeated in college football. Houston comes into this game 6-1. Now, they're on a 6-game win streak. All right, they're on a 6-game win streak. Clearly, SMU's on a 7-game win streak. Well, one of those streaks is going to end tonight. Again, unless something like the game gets called off. But one of these teams is going to lose. All right, so SMU definitely has the better offense. No doubt. Houston has no doubt the better defense. Who's going to win tonight? I'm going to go with the home team, and I'm going to go with the better defense. So I like Houston to win the game as a pick'em. And as far as the total, 61 and a hook, going down under the 61 and a hook tonight. Okay? Next game up on my spotlight sheet. North Carolina on the road to take on Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are favored by 3 and a hook. Points total set at 67 and a hook. All right, North Carolina comes into this game 4-3. Notre Dame, ranked 11th in the country, comes in this game 6-1. All right, North Carolina, in many people's eyes, including mine, has been somewhat of a disappointment or a disappointment. The reason I say that is they were preseason ranked 10th in the country. They had supposedly a shot at maybe running to the college playoff. Well, that hasn't happened. That ship has sailed. Okay. Now, they're coming off a bye week, so they got an extra week's rest. They last played a couple weeks ago, and they beat Miami 45-42 in a thriller. Okay. Notre Dame. All right, as I mentioned, they're 6-1, ranked 11th in the country. For them to keep their New Year's Day bowl alive, or be kind of that final 16, maybe have a shot at the college football championship, they have to win tonight. No doubt. They can't have 2 losses. If they do, guess what? Their college football playoff hopes, see you later, bye. All right. Sam Howell. He's been playing very well as of late. Had a slow start, okay? Now, he was a potential Heisman candidate at the beginning of the season. Well, he's been playing like that lately. Listen, I think tonight he shows the nation why he should have been, or why he was considered for the Heisman earlier this season. I like North Carolina getting the 3 and a hook, and as far as the total, up, we're going over 67 and a hook. North Carolina plus 3 and a hook, over 67 and a hook. All right, next up on my college spotlight grid, Louisville on the road to take on North Carolina State. NC State is -6 at home. Points total set at 56. Louisville comes into this game 4-3. They're 2-2 in the ACC. North Carolina State, they're 5-2. They're 2-1 in the conference. All right, Louisville is coming off a very solid 28-14 win over Boston College. NC State lost to Miami the last time they played, 31-30. Okay, Louisville, I think they're going to be able to move the ball. All right, I think they're going to be able to run the ball and pass the ball behind quarterback Malik Cunningham. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball for NC State. That's why I like Louisville getting the 6. And as far as the points total, I think it's going to be more of a ground game tonight than the air show. So I'm going to go under the 56. So Louisville getting 6, under 56 points. All right, next game up on my spotlight grid in college football, it's Virginia on the road to take on BYU. Now, BYU is favored by 2 and a hook. Points total set at 66. Okay? Now, Virginia comes into this game 6-2. All right? BYU also comes into this game 6-2. Now, this game had kind of a star on it even a couple years ago when they scheduled this. Why? Well, Virginia's head coach, Bronco Mendenhall, well, he's the former BYU coach. He was there for many years, took him to a lot of winning seasons and a lot of bowl games. Okay, now, he has deep ties there to BYU. Not only did he coach there and win 99 games, but Bronco's brother played there. Matter of fact, Bronco's father played there. So, now BYU is coming off a win against Washington State. Tonight is, let's just say that the BYU stadium is going to be rocking for a couple of reasons. Obviously, Bronco is coming back, okay? Well, guess what? If they win tonight, this will be BYU's football. This will be their 600 win as a college football team. This dates back to 1922. So, I mean, could they have written this script any better? I don't think so. Their old coach is coming back. It's going to be a sold-out crowd, and they're going for their 600th win. That's why I think that's enough motivation for the BYU Cougars to cover this 2 and a hook. And as far as the points total, I am looking way up on this one. I think they're going to pull out all the stops on this, every trick in the book, both teams. And Virginia can score a lot of points. So can BYU over the 66. All right, last game I have on my college football spotlight this week. Fresno State on the road, -1 and a hook at San Diego State. Points total set at 44 and a hook. Well, this is, first off, this is called the Old Oil Can Rivalry. That's probably one of the coolest names for a rivalry. So right now, Fresno State, I believe, excuse me, yes, I think Fresno State currently holds the old oil can. So Fresno State comes into this game 6-2. They're 3-1 in the conference. San Diego State, well, they're 7-0. Clearly, they're 3-0 in the conference. San Diego State, again, I think they're one of only 9 teams undefeated right now in the top division in college football. Now, this is a battle in the Mountain West Conference, the West Division. Basically, whoever wins this game, they're going to be sitting atop that Western Division Conference. So, Fresno State, they like to score points. They've scored 285 points on the season. Well, guess what? San Diego State's defense, very, very stingy. They've only let up 110 points. Offense, defense. What's going to happen tonight? Well, Fresno State, their offense, is going to get it done. On the road, favored by 1.5. I like Fresno State. As far as the total, it's a low total. And we got to go back about 6 or 7 years since these two teams combined for more than 45 points. Well, guess what? I think tonight is the night. I'm going over the 44.5. All right. We're going to change gears completely now. We're going to go right to the NHL. I got one game that I got circled for tonight, and it is the Florida Panthers on the road to take on the Boston Bruins, the big bad Bruins. Well, the Bruins are a -130 favorite at home. Goal total set at 6. All right. Panthers, they come in 8-0, perfect on the season, right? They played last night in Detroit, came home with a 3-2 overtime win. Now, the Bruins come into this game 3-3. They've lost 2 in a row. One of them early this week to who? The Panthers, who they're playing again tonight. Now, they lost to the Panthers 4-1. Bees are 2-0 at home. So, again, maybe at home, maybe they get things right after 2 losses. I'll give you my take in a second. All right, so anyways, let's just talk about the Florida Panthers very quickly. They will be without their head coach, Quenneville, who resigned, and he should have resigned. He was the head coach. You know, obviously I'm referring to the alleged sexual assault that happened back in 2010 to Kyle Beach. It's been all over the news, and Quenneville was the coach. And, you know, depending on which way, who you talk to, he kind of may have known about it and didn't do anything about it. So pretty disgusting. I don't want to get too deep into that. Hopefully the league and, let's say, law enforcement do what they have to do. And, you know, Brad Aldrich, my guess is he's probably lawyered up. But again, this is all alleged, and this is the stuff that I've read. But boy, oh boy. Not good days in hockey when you read things like that. So anyways, all right, so back to tonight's game. Panthers, this is their 4th game in 6 nights. It's a back-to-back road game, as I mentioned. They were in Detroit last night. I'm thinking distraction with the head coach being gone, some tired legs. Bruins tonight, I'm on a -130. The Bruins get it done tonight at home. And as far as the goal total set at 6, I'm going under. I'm going to go under 6 goals, but the Bruins break their 2-game losing streak and beat the Panthers tonight. All right, shift gears again here. We're going to go right to some Major League Soccer, a little MLS. Got one game on the card tonight, and that is the Columbus Crew on the road to take on DC United. All right, DC United is a -145 favorite at home. The Columbus Crew, a +425 underdog on the road. The draw is set at +290. Goal total set at 2.5. All right, Columbus Crew, they currently sit 10th in the table with 41 points after 32 matches. They're on a 2-match win streak. They recently beat Orlando City, and they beat the New York Red Bulls. Now, they only have 2 matches remaining, including this one, right? So not many games left in the season. Every point counts. Currently sit 10th, as I mentioned in the table, in the Eastern Conference. All right, DC United. They currently sit 7th in the table with 44 points after 32 matches. Why is 7th important? Well, guess what? The top 7 teams in each conference make the playoffs. So right now, DC United is in the playoffs, okay? So again, but they're 3 points ahead of the Columbus Crew who they're playing tonight. Man, a win by Columbus puts them right into a tie, maybe moves them into the playoffs. All right, so DC United, they've won 3 out of their last 4. They last played earlier this week, Wednesday night, and they beat New York Red Bulls 1-0. Now that was coming off a loss where they got trounced 6-0 from NYCFC. So what's going to happen tonight? I like the home team. I like the fact that they're coming off a win. They got things right. They won 3 out of 4, and they have to be motivated. They know if they lose this game, I mean, that's 7th to 10th or 7th to 9th, and they're on the outside trying to get in. So I like DC United minus 145. And as far as the goal total, I am looking up. I think we're going to see some goals tonight. I'm going over the 2.5 goals. All right, we're going to go from MLS right to Major League Baseball. World Series Game 4 tonight in Atlanta. So we've got the Houston Astros on the road to take on the Braves. All right, the Braves right now are a minus 105 favorite. Astros are a plus 100 dog. Runs total set at 8.5. Okay. As of showtime, Zach Greinke was going to take the mound for the Astros, and Dylan Lee was going to start for the Braves. Well, this will be Dylan Lee's, I believe, his first ever Major League start. Wow. A little bit of pressure starting in the World Series for the first time in your MLB career. I don't know. Is that going to be a little too much pressure for him? We'll see. If the Braves bats come alive, maybe it won't. Okay, so Braves lead the series 2-1. Obviously, Game 4 tonight. I think you're asking a little too much of this kid for his first Major League start. And Greinke, man, he's a seasoned veteran. He knows what has to be done. Matter of fact, last game, Game 3, Houston Astros bats went very, very quiet. Maybe it was the adjustment of coming to Atlanta. Maybe it was the weather. I don't know. I don't think this young kid Lee is going to silence the Houston Astros bats tonight. So that's why I like the Astros at plus 100 to win tonight over the Atlanta Braves. As far as the run total, I think you're going to see some hitting tonight. I'm going over 8.5 runs. I also have a couple of prop bets that I'm looking at, and it's, Jose Altuve. Okay, I got 2 prop bets for him. First is over 1.5 hits. I like the over on that. And then his total bases set at 1.5. I like over on both of those. So I'm going to take Altuve to get over 1.5 hits. And I also like him to go over the 1.5 total bases. All right, switching gears. We're going where? To the NFL. Got a few games on my spotlight list. I'm going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns are favored by 4 at home. Points total set at 43. Steelers come into this game 3-3. Steelers are coming off a bye week. They last played the prior Thursday night football against the Seahawks, and they won that game up in Seattle, 23-20. Very impressive win for the Steelers. Now the Browns, they're 4-3 on the season. They played last week, and they beat the Broncos 17-14. Now Baker Mayfield, who was out last week with an injury. Now Case Keenum got the start and got them the win. Well, guess what? Baker's been cleared to play, even though he has a shoulder injury. Now, it's not his throwing shoulder, but it's still one of his shoulders. That's pretty painful. But he's been cleared to play, and he is listed as the starter. Now, that's good, but I think what's really good is Nick Chubb, their running back. He's coming back for the Browns, and I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I like the Browns -4. And as far as the points total, I'm going under the 43. So Browns and under. All right, next game up on my spotlight for the NFL is the Miami Dolphins on the road to take on the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills are favored by 14 at home. Points total set 48 and a hook. Dolphins are 1-6. They've lost 6 in a row since the opening game of the season for them, where they beat the Patriots. They lost last week to the Falcons, 30-28, with a last-second field goal by the Falcons. Man, oh man, that one hurt. Dolphins, now they're 4-2. They're coming off a bye week. They last played against Tennessee, and they lost 34-31. So they had a couple weeks to stew on that loss. And then they got the Dolphins coming into their home turf here. What's going to happen tonight? Well, let's look back a few weeks ago. The Bills traveled down to Miami and absolutely annihilated the Dolphins, 35-0. What's happened since? Well, the Dolphins have gotten worse. I think with the Falcons' loss, man, that was kind of a devastating loss. They were looking to get back on the winning track, and the Falcons, with that last-second field goal, kind of took the air out of their balloon. So, and remember, they still have a quarterback situation where Deshaun Watson, he may be the heir apparent, and the trade deadline is November 2nd. So I got a feeling that there's a little more thought process going into getting Deshaun after losing 6 straight. So who do I like? I like the Bills here. Again, -14. I know that's a big number, but I think the Bills are going to unload again on the Dolphins. The Dolphins have kind of, like I say, the air's out of their balloon. So I like the Bills laying the 14. And as far as the total, 48 and a hook, man, I'm looking up. So I'm going over the 48 and a hook. Next game up on my spotlight sheet for the NFL, Cincinnati Bengals on the road, favored by 11 and a hook, travel to take on the New York Jets. Points total set at 42 and a hook. And the Bengals come into this game 5-2. They had what I called a statement game last week. They came to play, and they took care of business against the Baltimore Ravens. They destroyed them 41-17 to take over first place in their division. Now they're going on the road here to take on the Jets. Might be a big ask in the sense that this is their 3rd road game in a row for the Bengals. Schedule makers really weren't smiling down on the Bengals at this part of the season. So now let's look at the Jets. Jets are 1-5. They're coming off a thrashing from the hands of the New England Patriots at 54-13. Listen, I know the Jets aren't a good team, so this is more of, I think the Bengals are going to have a little bit of a letdown after having such a rivalry game last week and literally stomping on the Ravens. So I like the Jets getting 11 and a hook, and as far as the points total, looking down, I'm going under 42 and a hook. All right, next game on my spotlight sheet for the NFL, Jacksonville Jaguars on the road to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 4 at home. Points total set 44 and a hook. All right, Jags are 1-5, but they're on a winning streak, a 1-game winning streak. They ended their 20-game losing streak 2 weeks ago over in London, where they beat the Miami Dolphins 23-20. Now, as I mentioned, that was 2 weeks ago. So they've had an extra week here. They're coming off a bye week. Seattle Seahawks. Still, Geno Smith is still their starting quarterback. Russell Wilson still not ready to come back from his hand injury. Might be back next week, but Geno Smith still has the keys to the car this week. They've lost 3 in a row, Seattle. Rams, Steelers. Last week they lost to the Saints. Man, it's tough for me to back Geno Smith and the Seahawks. I actually think there's some momentum with the Jags here. They have Granted, they're 1-5, but they were in a lot of games this year. I think they're going to go on the road, and again, being on the road, maybe it galvanizes that team. They don't have to hear from the press about, the things that Urban Meyers did a few weeks ago. You remember when he got the alleged lap dance, or he didn't? Well, being away from home, I think it's a good thing. I like the Jags in this spot. I'm going to take the 4 points with Jacksonville, and as far as the total, looking up, I'm going over 44 and a hook. All right, couple bonus soccer/international football plays here. All right, we're going to look at La Liga. I got one game in La Liga. It is Real Betis on the road to take on Atletico Madrid. All right, Atletico Madrid is a -165 favorite at home. Real Betis is a +500 underdog, okay? The draw is set at +300. Goal total set at 2 and a hook. Real Betis, all right, they currently sit 4th in the table in La Liga. Through 11 matches, they've got 21 points. They've scored 16 goals. They've let up 9. Atletico Madrid currently sit 6th in the table. Very, questionable at this time of the year, considering how good they were last year. But it's still early in the season. Through 10 matches, they're 6th in the table. They've got 19 points. 15 goals for. They've let up 10. I really like Atletico Madrid here at home. So -165. Atletico Madrid wins this match. As far as the goal total, again, I am looking up. I think there's going to be some goals tonight. Yes, I know Atletico Madrid likes to park the bus, but Luis Suarez, Antoine Griezmann, he's back on the team. I think they're going to start putting up some goals. So I'm going to go over the 2 and a hook. I do have a prop play also in this game, and that's Luis Suarez, an anytime goal. So I like that prop bet. All right, one more international football soccer pick, and we're going to go to the EPL. Leeds United on the road to take on Norwich City. All right. Leeds United is a +105 favorite on the road, and Norwich City is +255 dog at home. The draw is set at +265. Goal total set at 2 and a hook. These two teams are cellar dwellers in the EPL, okay? Leeds United currently sits 18th in the table. They've only got 7 points through 9 matches. They've scored 8 goals. They've let up 16. Wow, what a difference a season. I mean, last year they played some really, really good football. This year, 2 years into the EPL, man, they are really, really struggling. Now, Norwich, ouch. All right, they currently sit dead last in the table, 20th. They have 2 points through 9 matches. They have no wins. Those 2 points came on 2 draws. They've only scored 2 goals in those 9 matches. They've let up 21. Listen, this is a game that Norwich can win. There's not many they can win, but this is one of them. I like Norwich at home at +265 to win this match, get their first win of the EPL season. As far as the goals, again, let's look up. I'm going over 2 and a hook in this match. All right, hey, that's going to put a wrap on tonight's picks and plays. So let's head to the exits. Okay, hopefully I've given you some good insight and some good info. So what? So you can go cash some tickets. All right, next week, I know I'm looking ahead, but as I mentioned earlier in tonight's episode, we're going to be talking boxing. We're also going to be looking at Breeders' Cup. So those that like to bet the ponies like I do, I am really looking forward to breaking down the Breeders' Cup next week. So make sure you're tuning in. All right, listen. Hey, we really appreciate everybody tuning in. We never, ever take that for granted. So on behalf of everyone here at the 7 and a Hook podcast, until next time, we hope you have a great day. And as we always say, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.
Thanks again for tuning in to the 7 and a Hook podcast. Until next time, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.